Hey guys, how's it going? Today is Thursday, September 11th, 2014, and it's been 13 years since 9/11. So I just want to say, I hope everybody out there today is remembering that tragic day and the people that were innocently killed. Uh, so yeah, on another note, people have been asking me about who influenced me in my playing, or who I listened to a lot when I was growing up, or when I started playing, and who do I like now. So I kind of made a list um, back in the day when I started playing guitar in 1995. I got a guitar in 1995. I was 13. I really didn't start playing a whole lot until about maybe 2 years later. But my main influences, straight away, Jimi Hendrix. I love Jimi Hendrix. I was a huge Hendrix fan. Back then, you couldn't get anything on Hendrix, but I just loved. I got Access Bowl's Love and all his albums, and it's just like blew me away. And right after that would be Nirvana, because I was a Nirvana fan when Kurt was alive, and then when he killed himself, I was devastated, like just like everybody else. It was just. So like the summer of 1995 for me was a year after Kurt died. I still was a huge Nirvana fan, so they were a very early influence for me. And then after that, Foo Fighters. Loved that first album that Dave Grohl did. Even the second one's not bad. Um, and then here, through Metallica, Megadeth. Metallica goes. I suppose Metallica should have been the first one, because I'm out in 1992. My father, uh, he bought the Black Album. In 1992, I would have been 10, but I was 9 when he bought it. So I was 9 years old listening to the Black Album. So Metallica was really early on. And as I got into music older, later on, I got into Megadeth. Megadeth was awesome. And then, like Slayer, another huge influence, amazing albums, and Divine Intervention, 1994. That was just like whoa, especially the drumming from their drummer they had at the time. Uh, Pantera, Dimebag Darrell. I mean, Cowboys from Hell was an incredible album, and then they followed it up with Vulgar Display of Power, unbelievable. And Great Southern Trendkill in '96, '94 is Far Beyond Driven, I believe it was. I mean, Pantera, if you ask me, saved metal in the '90s, because '90s was grunge and the Seattle scene and Lollapalooza and all kinds of that stuff. No doubt, Bush X or whatever, all these weird, 311, those types of bands that I didn't really care a whole lot for. I was more like towards the metal side. That's what I was influenced by. Um, so I said Slayer, Pantera, Smashing Pumpkins. That's another band too. Their '95 album, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. That album was, I just loved it. I mean, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. I don't care who you are, you like that song. Like, it's it was one of those songs. It was like Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd, or just you liked it. It was there. It was catchy. And then boom, there's another one. Ozzy, Randy Rhoads, Jake Ely, Zach Wilde. All these amazing guitar players that he had. Like Ozzy's first two albums are my personal favorites with Randy Rhoads, because Randy Rhoads is one of my today. He's one of the people that influenced me today to still keep playing. I don't play like him because he's super beyond this world, in my opinion. But someday I would like to learn his music really well, and take the time to get it done right. I guess, because I'm not consider myself good enough to play his material. I might just mess around with Suicide Solution, or I don't know, or Crazy Train every now and then. But another one, Type O Negative. My channel, Type O Negative, VEVO. Uh, I've loved Type O Negative since, I can remember the early '90s. I mean, I got Bloody Kisses and all kind of their albums. I mean, like 1996 October Rust, best album, one of the best albums ever created, if you ask me. I think Peter Steele, rest in peace. Hard to believe it's been over 4 years since he's been dead. Um, he was just a creative genius. He wrote most of the music in Type O Negative, plus he had a side project called Carnivore. Well, actually, I think that was his first band, and he's doing stuff with it. But yeah, Peter Steele was just incredible, and he's still a huge influence. But I really would wish that I could be a songwriter in the way that he could songwrite. I mean, he was a bass player, singer, but his melodies and his vocal style and just everything that he came together with was like Ozzy and Randy Rhoads. It was magical. Like Peter Steele, what he could do in his mind, if you ask me, was unbelievable. Um, and I'll go back to when I was younger, Michael Jackson. Still love Michael Jackson. I got my son, who's almost 3, totally into Michael Jackson. I hate to break it. I'm not. It's gonna be hard to break it to him when tell him that Michael Jackson's dead. Yeah, I grew up when Michael Jackson's Thriller came out the year I was born, 1982. So I grew up listening to Thriller, Fleetwood Mac, all kinds of different bands that my parents liked, and old record players, and I still have some of the records, Pink Floyd, all kinds of stuff they listen to. Um, I like the bands that came along later on, like the Deftones, Korn, Marilyn Manson. I was a huge Marilyn Manson fan back in the day. Holy man, I was a Manson fan so much. I used to have a big cross there on a chain around my neck, and I was so into Marilyn Manson. I wasn't into the whole anti-religion, burning Bibles and all that. I just loved the music and I loved his image. And back then, I mean, there was no internet really, so if you've seen the video for The Beautiful People, like on, MTV or Much Music, you've seen it, that was awesome. If you missed it, it sucked. Like you. So yeah, I mean, I was a huge Marilyn Manson fan. I still love Marilyn Manson. I think he's a great musician. The band is awesome. Uh, he's a well-spoken person. Tupac, I love Tupac. Remember when Tupac was dead? When he died, I was into his music from an early age too. Uh, like I said in one of my other videos, Tupac believes the greatest rapper of all time, totally, hands down. And another person is Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is my man for country music. I love Garth Brooks. Like he's playing. I did a lot of his covers on here on YouTube. The hits, 1994, the hits. I remember they were even giving that out at McDonald's here in Canada one time. The hits. I don't know why, but whatever. Yeah, that album's incredible, and he has all his earlier albums, Rope in the Wind, Fresh Horses, just No Fences. This is really, really good stuff. And then later on, I started to get into stuff like Bryan Adams, really nice melodies, melodic. And then later on, Children of Bodom, another band that was really cool. I liked a lot. Nickelback, I think Photograph actually is one of the greatest songs ever written. I don't know why. I just had this attraction to Photograph. I love that song. Guitar player Yngwie Malmsteen, love him. Well, the first time I heard Brothers by Yngwie, I was blown away. Couldn't believe it. Never heard anything. I was just like, wow, not the whole flashy stuff, but the main melody was just do, 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 do. Just like, wow. I was like, that is an incredible melody. That guy is a really good musician. Like, it's like he picked up where Randy Rhoads left off, kind of thing. Then I guess I also have like another side where it's kind of soft. Like, I like Sarah Brightman a lot. She's really an amazing operatic. She's kind of crossing over a bit there now, but she's a total amazing powerhouse girl. Like, piano player, singer, just stage, just beautiful, beautiful music. Even Sarah McLachlan, maybe some of you people never heard of her. She's Canadian, but me and my wife like her a lot. Like her 2003 album. Can't remember the name of it right now. I'll write it here in the bottom here later. Afterglow, that's it. Yeah, that album, I love it. Unbelievable, amazing album. I'm trying to think. Silverchair, that's another band too that really, really influenced me. I mean, if I had 3 albums back in the day, it was probably Silverchair, Freak Show, Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar, Ozzy, Diary of a Madman. Like, those were my albums. Um, Even the Killjoys. That's another band I like, and I got the guy I covered um, Raven Drool, and I had the guy, the Mike Troublecock from Killjoys, correct me on the right way to play it, and it's awesome. I hope he sees this now. But I really love the Killjoys. Like their albums are pretty cool. I like the way the melodies and stuff look. Like he was a really good singer too. Really, really good. Um, then you get this question like, what would if you were stuck on a deserted island? What albums would you want to have with you that kind of make you like sustain you? And I put Type O Negative, October Us, 1996. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman, 1981. Metallica, Master of Puppets, 1986. Garth Brooks, The Hits, 1994. Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power, 1992. So those would be all my albums and my influences. I can just think of just right off the top of my head. But then you'll see me covering ABBA. You'll see me covering maybe a Celine Dion song or something like just all kinds of different crazy stuff, like some rap stuff, some Eminem stuff, just bass lines or whatnot, just anything that catches my ear that I find that's kind of neat. Like another band too is Cradle of Filth. I love them. They're awesome. I mean their music has changed a lot over the years, but they're still an amazing killer band. Yeah. But yeah, like what I listen to on a daily basis is really like Ozzy, Type O Negative, Metallica. Uh, it depends, I guess, what the hell I'm feeling like today. Type O Negative, definitely. Ozzy, Metallica, and Pantera too, because I mean, Dime, killer guitar player, and it's so sad the way he died. Hard to believe it's almost 10 years ago. I'm just looking at my list here. Slayer. Slayer's riffs. People say Slayer's solos are all the same. Who gives a damn about their solos? Their riffs are incredibly insane. I mean, they came out in the early 80s with, they were compared to Metallica all through. But Slayer was powerhouse. They were fast, energetic punk type, in the early days. I think they were kind of with the Satanist type thing. Whatever. Metallica was never really like that, I guess. They wore spandex or whatever. Glam bands or whatever in the early 80s. But yeah, like anything that has a good riff, a good melody, I'd like to learn. I mean, you can tell by the diversity of all the songs I've covered. Jason Mraz, I Won't Give Up, Colby Calibut or whatever, or Christina Perri, Adina Menzel, Let It Go, to Metallica, to Slayer, Ozzy, Pantera. I don't have a lot of their stuff because I find a lot of their stuff like it's really, really hard to learn, like Hendrix. Fuck, I know the intro to Voodoo Child, that's about it. Never made an attempt to learn a lot of that crazy blues stuff, but I love the blues. The blues is my favorite style of music, although I play mostly at like melodic, like metal, I guess. But I love the blues, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, all kinds of really good blues musicians. Albert King, Johnny Winter, a bunch of even Django Reinhardt. He was amazing for a guy who had like barely any fingers. Like he was a very cool. He did a lot, and he's influenced a lot of people. I listen to his music and it's just like whoa, it's just like it's hitting you here, it's hitting you there, it's hitting you. Like you're just like wow, like this guy did a lot for what he did. It's kind of like Tony Iommi with Black Sabbath. That's another band too, but I liked Ozzy better than Black Sabbath. Wasn't as much of a Black Sabbath fan as I was an Ozzy fan. Because I liked Randy Rose and I liked Jake Ely, who we had from basically 83 to 86 or whatever, and then Zach picked up from there. Now it's Gus G. So yeah, those are I can think of off the top of my head. If people asking me, who are my favorites and who I'm influenced by or whatever. But I might be influenced by them, but I try to find my own style. I guess like everybody else, you want to have your own style. So yeah, I just try to just do whatever the hell, fool around all the time on bass and guitar. So you find your own style and you find what you like. If that works good, it's fine. So yeah, I guess I'll end this here now. So Thanks for watching. These are some of the answers to questions I've been asked.